Let's go! Cool kids step to the front. Cool kids. Too sweet sign for the click.
Bitch, you don't work there.
Feel like I need a shower just looking
Gotta
at
get
you.
ready.
Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Next on the prince. They ain't been the same ever since.
What?
Living pretty
We
well
cut
on
the head
challenge.
off a
I ain't
You're gonna
got
be
no
single
time
for the
like
rest of your life.
Brock Lesnar on the beast.
Look at the heat.
Sleep flex and
Look at the
repeat.
heat.
Whole new swag with a
Wild.
price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level got
I get no bitches.
Bringing content on the daily. Feeling like Gresh Unleashed.
Yeah. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let me make sure I'm not clipping my microphone, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, and everybody in between, welcome back to the GRESH UNLEASHED podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 2 weeks, give or take. Gresh is back home, as the ticker at the bottom if you're listening or watching in the audio form. The Gresh is back home after 2 weeks on the road. If I'm not on the road, Suela's on the road. If Suela's on the road, I'm not on the road. Or sometimes we both on the road and we have to record in advance and we have to give you. So we're going to probably save the retro reviews for whenever we are both, or whenever we both just can't do a Thursday podcast. But you are tuning in to the Gresh Unleashed podcast, episode 23. I am surprised that we have made it this far to 23 episodes. Over 100 if you count the original incarnation, but 23 solid episodes of the Gresh Unleashed podcast. And as you can see, or as you can hear, I got a new microphone and a new mixer. So I am going to be doing a lot of bullshit like this for no reason, because I can, and there's nothing you can do about it. But before I get ahead of myself, joining me as always, as you heard by the giggling cackle of the bandit herself, that is Suela the Bandit. What is going on with you, Queen Rebel?
Hello, everybody. Today is a good day, even though it's cold.
Hey, that's the best season, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Man, get out! Like
That's the best. You see, I'm rocking the hoodie right now.
Man,
I'm rocking the
like,
hoodie.
okay, I would say this. I love rocking my hoodies. I do. Like, Lord knows I do. But sometimes I be having days where I'm like, man, like, can I just leave? Like, can I go? Like, I just want to make enough money to the point where when this gets close to like October, November, December, I'm gone for like 3 months. Like, it's just going somewhere warm. Like,
You want to go to Hawaii or the Bahamas? You want to go to
like
Hawaii
a
or the
whole
Bahamas?
3 months, like, dang, you used to and still make money. Yes, like, and still be making money. Have a whole 3 month vacation absence and still be making money. It's a lot.
That remind me of when I was going. I was this morning, because ever since I've been back, because for those of you who don't know, for those of you who haven't been following me on social media, which you should be already, I've been posting a lot of photo dumps. That's how I do my social media. If I'm not promoting, I do photo dumps. That's literally me. But I've been to Denver. I've been to literally 3 cities within North Carolina. I believe Greensboro, Charlotte, and Wilmington. So it was warm for the first 3 cities, but then I started feeling the cold for the last city that we was on. So, but and then so ever since, it's like, because I've been to gym, I've been working out nonstop in every hotel that I've been in except for 2, because the first one I couldn't find it for some reason, because they had me on the main floor, but then the gym was downstairs instead of upstairs. So I was just like, I'm not finna walk around this hotel look like a creep. So I just said, well, I'm not working out today. And then the next one, every time I was so tired to the point where I was just like, okay, because you know how you get to, for those of you who know about road trips or traveling for work or whatever, you know, by the time you get to week 4, or at least day 4 or day 10, you get exhausted to the point where you can't even wake up. So I could wake up, because every time, it don't matter where I'm at, whether I'm at Atlanta or wherever city I'm at, I'm always beating my alarm every single time. I cannot sleep until my alarm to say I set my alarm at 4 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 2. I set my alarm for 5 o'clock. I wake up at 4. So I'm like, do I even bother? But then that's the thing, though. That's the tricky part. Don't. For those of you who are like, then why do you bother? If I don't set it, I am going to oversleep. It's weird. It's a weird analogy to put, but that's literally how it is. I oversleep if I don't set it, and I beat it if I do set it. But anyway, back to the cold. I've been working out I've been rebuilding my cardio since yesterday as well as today, where I've been doing sprints. And it's funny how every time I do sprints, whenever they count my sweat count, and every time it lands on 69, nice. So today I finally beat the 69 allegations because I finally hit 77, and I'm like, finally. So I put on Twitter, but the weather was like yesterday. It was heading in that direction where it was cold. So I had my big old fur coat on. Like the on inside is fur, but the outside looks like it's a certain type of fabric. So I walk out there today. I kid you not. I almost quit. I said, yeah, I can't do this because it was 29 degrees where I was. It was ice on my car, so I had to use my spare key.
Oh my gosh!
To crank it up, to warm it up. And then I locked it. So I ran down to get a bucket of water, and just put it on there to clear my windows.
That's like one of the reasons why I don't like to deal with the cold, period. Like that's why I don't even want to take that chance. I don't. Especially like when I done growed up and like seeing like my parents go through it with the cars and stuff like that. I'd be like, man, no. Like, can we just leave?
It's like
don't the ice off the car. I gotta wait for the car to get warm. Man, stressing me out.
That sounds like me in middle school, and elementary school, and high school, and college,
man,
and after college, and now
stress. Like it's just stress.
Like it was stressful, but I've been building my cardio, which you guys should be doing as well if you haven't already. Your health is very important because, as a lot of you know or haven't known, I am reaching 30. I am not 30 yet, but I am close. I am going to be 28, I believe. What's today's the 20th?
In 2 days.
So I'll be in 5 days. I'll be 28.
5 days, yeah, you'll be 28.
I'll be 28 in 5 days. So if you haven't already, I tell this to everybody, because if you listen to anybody that's over 30, they always say, "Oh, you got them 30 knees." So here's the trick,
man. Be quiet.
Here's the trick for you with them 30 knees. If you start working out in your mid to late 20s and build your body up, you can take the pain in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s. You just have to build your body up to be able to withstand it. And if you don't listen to the gospel of Gresh, then allow me to beg your indulgence for a moment. Shout out Damian Sandow. If you want to avoid your 30 knees and your 30 back and your 30 spine, work out, eat right, eat healthy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still eat candy from time to time, but I still work out to make sure my body, my temple is worth it. I am not one of these fitness gurus. I'm literally the voice that does the most. I am not out here trying to get you to change your whole lifestyle. Just take care of yourself. Find that perfect balance, because I still eat pork. I still eat ribs. I still eat beef. I still eat pork chops. What else I mean? I'm getting hungry now that I'm talking about it.
Well, I tell you that I do eat pork sometimes because I like bacon. So it's like that's.
I mean, they got turkey bacon
for me.
I mean, they got turkey bacon.
That don't count. It counts when it counts, but it don't count. Like, that ain't no real bacon.
She said that shit sucks.
Like cardboard. Like,
get that shit. She said, "Get that shit out of my face." Like, what the? Like,
that's a tease. That's an appetizer. I don't want that. Like, man, get out.
Get that bullshit out of my face. You don't get that bullshit out of my face, bitch.
Like, when I don't really have, like, I don't have my original bacon, I have to get alternatives. So it's like I'll do it, and then it's like, for some people, find a workout that's for you. Just because somebody else is lifting dumbbells and lifting all this weight, that don't mean you have to do that. Find something else that you like to doing. Like, if you like to dance, do that. If you like doing kickboxing, do that. Like, If you want a whole full body workout, just do what you're comfortable with doing. Like, just don't overdo it. You don't want to hurt yourself.
Let them know.
like, like you don't want to do that. Like, I have seen. It's been times where I wanted to go to the gym, like in my early 20s. I used to go, and then I used to like see all these other people, and then these other people be looking at me, and then I don't be caring. But then after a while, I'm like, nah, this ain't for me. I can't do this. That's why I like to dance so much. I'm like, nah, like
That's still working out though.
That's better for me.
That's still working. That still count as working out though.
But I know what I'm saying. I can do that. That's cool. I don't want to have to do all this extraness that they doing. Like,
oh nah. So people
I'm okay.
People be thinking that I'm going to the gym for like an hour or 2 hours. I go to the gym every day for 30 minutes just to hit the treadmill. And that's
it.
But that's mainly because I have weights in my house. I have weights and I have a mat that I can literally do at home workouts. But I just hit the gym because I don't have a treadmill in my house. So I just accommodate myself to go to the treadmill. I do sprints for 20 minutes. And then I'll probably do a slight trap and bicep workout, and then I'll do some pull-ups to cap off my day, and I go right back home. I get there at 8 o'clock, or sometimes 7 o'clock or 7:30, and I leave right at 8 or 9 o'clock.
See,
you're not gonna see me, and you're not gonna see me. I tried that where I would post videos of myself. If you follow me on IG, I used to do that where I just post videos of myself, record working out. I don't care about that. I don't care about the likes. Like I can advocate for you to work out. I can show you the results. Like if I feel the need to fuck around and just say, hey, I'm gonna post a shirtless selfie, it is what it is. But I'm not finna like let you guys know. I literally play a video game. I produce podcasting and I produce content. I don't really care too much about convincing you or showing off my fitness routine. If you ask me, if you know me personally and you ask me my routine, I'll give it to you, but I'm not gonna try to be a fitness guru because from what I've seen from a lot of fitness gurus, they life fucking sucks.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's so crazy.
But we are more than
how you look good and you going through that.
You going through a lot of shit.
Wow.
You going through a lot of shit to be a
you
fitness
look
expert.
good, but you got a lot of issues going on. Like
I clap your cheeks, but your cheeks are not worth the headache.
Man. Couldn't say it better myself.
But yo, for those of you who are just now tuning into the podcast, if this is your first time tuning into the GRESH UNLEASHED podcast, this is literally what we do. We literally just chop it up before we start talking about everything. What you guys hear, we give you the appetizer before we talk about the bread and butter, which is the sport of I don't know what just happened to my throat, but we are here to talk about the sport of professional wrestling and everything in between, from the Game of Thrones and all that stuff. Whatever we watch, we talk about. That's literally how it is. And we're going to introduce another new segment that is Throw It Back Thursday. That name is a work in progress, but we are going to be talking about the match between Eduardo. Excuse me, let me not be technical with the government. A match between Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio from WCW Halloween Havoc 1997 for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. We're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about the return of the one and only Bray Wyatt. What have we thought of his WWE return thus far and predictions of the future? And also NXT and AEW has went head to head for the first time in over a year this past Tuesday, because I believe AEW was preempted on Wednesday, so they couldn't go live on Wednesday, so they had to go live on Tuesday. And we're going to give our thoughts on, like, because I believe, did you watch NXT or AEW? You didn't? Nope. Okay, cool. I watched 3 things at once, so I'm going to give you my thought process on the shit that I watched, because I watched the Celtics win in the, who did they face? I know the Celtics won, put it that way. Basketball is back, so basketball was on.
That's right.
I watched that briefly, as well as AEW and NXT. I can give you my thoughts on the highlights of the show, because I believe the highlight of AEW was MJF as always. And also we had an update, a injury scare for Hangman Adam Page during the main event of Dynamite. He took a bump awkwardly and suffered a concussion. So, and they had to stop. They had to throw the match out because he couldn't continue. And we're also going to be talking about Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and give our NXT preview and predictions, or speed round preview and predictions for Halloween Havoc that goes down this Saturday, which threw me off. I'm like, damn, that shit is this Saturday. So we're gonna be talking about that, and also we're gonna be talking about Raw with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley going head to head. That was a hell of a way to kick off the show for me. It was not no water, there was not no bread, it was just meat. It was just meat getting slapped. That's all I can say. You can take that however you want to take it. I don't really care. And we also talked shit about JBL because JBL came back, and you saw that man's foot, that man's suit.
Yeah.
That man came out dressed like 1990 Steve Harvey.
I'm like, why he out here?
No, you out why he out here. I'm trying to figure out who did not tailor this man's suit.
That too. I'm
trying to figure out and then, so much to talk about. And also, I believe, let me see, make sure we also have we got Game of Thrones and Chop It Up Band. So it's a nice little stacked show for you guys here. For if you are new or returning members of the Gresh Unleashed fam and the Gresh Unleashed podcast. So make sure you guys stick around. Visit www.gressunleashed.com. And quick house notes, because we are more than nearly 20 minutes into today's episode. Patreon.com/Gresh Digital. Shout out to our Patreon backers over at Patreon for your continued support of the show, and as me in general, as you guys' hard-earned money is not going to waste. It goes directly to everything that you see here. It went to my microphone, it went to my board, it went to everything. It keeps the lights on. So I appreciate you guys for support, whether you are a high tier, low tier, whatever the case may be. You guys are doing it. And speaking of Patreon exclusive content is officially back, because I actually have it set up to where we can do more watching vibes where we watch stuff. And I believe I said something about we're going to probably try to watch The Undertaker versus Stone Cold at that no DQ match because we reviewed that retro review Raw from 1999. And I believe it was a first blood match between him. It was him, Undertaker, and then I believe it was either Stone Cold wins and he doesn't. Or it's like it was basically like, if Stone Cold loses, he could not challenge for the WWF title again. But if Undertaker loses, Vince McMahon was gone from the WWF, which didn't last that long, obviously. But we'll be watching that type of stuff, and we'll also be taking you guys' suggestions and stuff if you guys want to. If especially from Patreon backers, like if you guys want to, and if you guys want to join, all it costs is a simple $1 if you guys want to join. We're not hiding any content behind certain tiers just yet. We're going to get there eventually, but for now, everybody gets watching vibe. I believe the last one we did was Umaga versus John Cena in a last man standing match for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble in 2007. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you join up, and I appreciate those of you who continue to support us over there. And speaking of support, make sure you guys join the official Reddit, because I haven't been doing it for the past 2 weeks because obviously I've been out of town. But if you guys want to join the official subreddit for my main channel, which is Gresh, you can do so by joining r/Gresh and just post funny stuff, funny memes, or stuff you want me to react to on the channel, and I will get back to that sometime this week, because I got literally the rest of the month off. But until next weekend, basically. And I believe I think I work one more show for October, then I'm off until November. But other than that, make sure you guys join the Reddit, join the Patreon if you haven't already, and I appreciate your support for everything that is going on. So we got more stories. We're gonna talk about what you want to know about me, my road trip, Miss Suela.
I was just gonna ask that too. I was gonna say how did it go for starters? Like, what did you like? What you didn't like?
I know what the fuck I didn't like. I didn't like the fact. I didn't like the fact that we didn't have. Cause okay, so here's a story. We was in Wilmington. I believe it was the last city. Me and the fellas went out. We went out to go eat. We went to it felt like a mom and pop shop or some shit. But we went out to eat, and then they had all this. They had this world famous taco, whatever. I saw pulled pork. That's why I brought up pulled pork. I saw pulled pork. I said, okay, I'm gonna get this pulled pork plate. my co-worker next to me, he got a taco salad, and they had taco meat in there. I had a side of red rice and mashed potatoes. I'm like, okay, this would be a good combination because I eat pulled pork like this often. So I'm like, oh, this gonna slap. I'm already high because all of us got high before we even walked in the store in the restaurant. So we were like, oh shit, we was like, it's gonna be a good night. I took a bite. I kid you not, that shit killed my entire high. It was so, and it wasn't the fact that it was disgusting. It was sweet. Have you ever had sweet pulled pork?
No.
Like it tasted like they drowned that shit.
It got barbecue sauce.
It had barbecue sauce on it, but it tastes like they drowned it in sugar.
Oh,
like
no.
This pulled pork tastes sweet. So I took a scoop. I took it into the mashed potatoes. I'm like, maybe that'll drown it off. Nope, it was still sweet. I took another scoop. I put it into the red rice. It was still sweet. How do you make sweet pulled pork? I never. And when I tell you I was high, but then when I ate it, I was so sad because since I ate it, I had to pay for it, so I couldn't take it off my order.
Man.
So I'm like, this was so fucking depressing. It was, and then the dude next, and then my coworker, he said, "And how do you make sweet chicken?" So that means you mean to tell me that you guys made sweet chicken and sweet pulled pork? Who in your cooking staff went crazy on the sugar? See, because this is how I make my barbecue sauce. I put some brown sugar, dabble a little, sprinkle a little beer in it. I don't drink alcohol per se, but it's there and it doesn't really do nothing to me. But it's there. And then when I do it, I taste a little bit of brown sugar, but you don't know that it don't taste sweet. It doesn't taste sweet.
Man,
that shit tasted sweet, and I was so mad. It's like. Oh, and then we had another story. It was when we was in I forgot how to say my camera. My bad. We was either in we was in Greensboro or Charlotte. We was in one of those cities because two cities we went back to back, so they're crossing over. But we was in there, and like I said, we was all getting high or whatever. We had this lady in the hotel. She came out and started talking shit to one of my coworkers. Because he had his joint and I had mine, so he was doing his own thing. And she had said something. I didn't catch it because if it ain't got nothing to do with me, and if I know you can't whoop my ass, I'm not gonna really care. But it's like when she came out and said something to him, and he was like, and then she said something like, "Hey, y'all don't need to be out here doing all this that." She just said something loud. All I heard was loud screaming. If I can't process it, I ignore it completely.
Right.
But he went off. He was like, "Man, shut your ass up. You like get you off the clock. Mind your fucking business." This man went crazy. He said, "Man, shut your you dog." This man went like I can't say the reason why I said that because there's a lot of shit that I just don't want to repeat on this podcast. I actually said it, but it was that crazy.
He was not playing. Like he was coming for her neck.
And the sad thing about it is this man was talking about it 2 days later. He was that mad. I'm like, bro. She has probably moved on with her life, and you're still talking about it, dog. Like, what are you doing right now? What are you talking about, my dog?
It was serious.
It was like, bro, we don't have like 5 joints between that conversation and now. Why are we still talking about this? Where is this going?
Because he mad.
Where is this going? Like, I'm still
trying to process all his emotions.
I'm out here hyped that Bray Wyatt returned, and you still talking about this bitch. I don't care. Where is the end game in this? What I'm out here trying to figure out why Allison is trying to hold for the giving out feet pics to Cripplefoot
Man,
on House of the Dragon, and
I'm
you still
trying to
talking about this
say,
lady who said some stupid shit. I don't know why she did it. Maybe she wanted to have sex with you. I don't. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe you should have went back. Matter of fact, go back to the hotel, get her number. If she ain't off, get her number, and y'all can just stroke it out.
Again. Like,
y'all can go cussing each. Y'all can go back to cussing each other out. Y'all can go back to cussing each other out, and I can never hear about this conversation ever again because my dog. This was in this city. We have moved on to 3 other cities, and you're still talking about this that happened 2 cities ago.
Man, bye.
Let it go. Let it go.
For real.
Go log on to Pornhub.com and go let it go. Because obviously you got some tension that you need to let go.
Oh my goodness.
I kid you not. I was so baffled on that entire thing. And then let me see what other story I got. Let me see. I don't think it was too. It was a pretty smooth sailing on like as far as work related because I literally was doing what I'm doing now on the road, so it wasn't really like nothing. Shit didn't nearly hit the fan. Like we had probably one technical difficulty because the software that we use, for some reason, if you don't, it's like it'll completely wipe out all the audio for videos to where you have to re-import it. So there's that, and then there was one dude. He was supposed to be monitoring the recording, and he's supposed to tell me when audio is supposed to stop or whatever, and he forgot. So halfway through the show, all you hear is background music during the actual recording, and he was supposed to tap me like, "Hey, pause that," but he didn't. But other than that, it was a pretty smooth show. I'm pretty sure I'm done for as far as traveling in October. November is still to be determined, but I know I have another route or another few cities for December that is already booked that I'm going to be going on as well. And we'll probably be doing what we did this time and do retro review. And then I believe sometime in December is the season finale of the Gresh Unleashed podcast, to where we're both going to be taking time off to spend with our families, holidays. You know how the whole ordeal. Like we don't like. I'm pretty sure we will be having a holiday break for Thanksgiving week as well. So we won't have to worry about that because we're going to eat this turkey. We're going to eat this ham. We're going to eat all this food. And then we got to sit through and suffer through bullshit Christmas music for December. So we're going to be talking about, we'll probably do 3 episodes that week, that month. And then for the rest of the year, we'll be taking off. And then we'll probably link up behind the cameras and all that stuff because I don't think I'm doing anything for New Year's. I'm pretty sure she is. If she's not, we'll probably do something together. You know how that is. But that was me on the road. More crazy stories like that for the future for you guys because I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna have a lot of stories. And blessings up! I didn't get COVID, so I'm cool with that. I didn't get COVID. I didn't get monkeypox. I didn't get none of that stuff because I stayed social distance. I stayed sanitized. I made sure if you looked sick, I separated myself from you, and I probably sprayed you in the face.
Hello.
That happens. Your fault because you show up sick. Other than that,
so you show up sick.
That's all I can tell you. You showed up sick for some dumbass reason, and there's that. But let's look at. We don't have any unpopular wrestling opinions this week because I've been on the road, so I didn't really have time to question them. But make sure you guys join the Gresh Digital Discord and look out for that ping over on Discord so that I can give you guys the official or ask you what's your unpopular opinions? Like you get it doesn't, and it's going to be read anonymously on here, and I might incorporate that on Twitter. I think I said that the last episode that we did. I'm officially get around to doing it. It's just a man of one when it comes to producing content, so I have to write this shit down or I will forget it. That's just how it is. That's literally how it be. That's all I can say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of before we move any further with today's podcast, I would like to give a special shout out to someone who's been motivating and educating the future generation, but the future of wrestling community in general. He is a Morehouse College graduate, educator, and creator of the Wrestling Club out in New York City. I hear he's a dope artist, as well as he is none other than Victor Taylor Perry of the Wrestling Club. Victor Taylor Perry. I mean, I follow him on social media and I try to basically support anything he got, because I actually got, I think I bought 2 or 3 hoodies from the Wrestling Club. They have official merch as well, so I want to show support because he actually took the kids out to the kids in his class out to Raw recently, I believe, and they got to see Carmelo Hayes, I think he's a big fan of Carmelo Hayes, so shout out to him on that. And I think he like, if you actually follow him on social media and actually look him up and look up the Wrestling Club on it comes off genuine. You got a lot of these phonies out here in the world that just does stuff for clout, but you could tell he's genuinely concerned and he cares for these kids. So shout out once again to Victor Taylor Perry. Continue to be great, my guy, and got to show you undoubtable love and support further for the Wrestling Club. I appreciate you guys for I appreciate guys like you for shaping the future when it comes to not only this little thing we all enjoy, professional wrestling, but just kids in general, because you can tell by the interactions on his like videos that he posts. You can tell that those kids are actually having fun, and that's what it's all about. That's why I try to tell a lot of people it's all about the kids, man. Like, you can argue about your little invisible ratings war all the time, but if you're not out here sharing positive light to not only kids but people in general, then you're not worth our time. But shout out to Victor Taylor Perry once again, and happy belated birthday. I believe his birthday was 2 to 3 days ago. Happy belated birthday as well, and Godspeed, my brother. Yeah, and we're gonna get you on the show. I'm gonna get you on the show, and I'm trying to get Suela on the interview as well, because I got to get her. I'm building her up, so there's that. And she hates that I'm doing this all the time, but I'm going to do it. She's going to get built up, and she's going to, whether she likes it or not. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But that's all I'm saying. All right. Now we're going to switch over to our Throwing It Back Thursday match of the week, Halloween edition, because Halloween is literally 11 days from now. For those of you who celebrate it, ooh, spooky. I don't have any spooky effects. I'm gonna import that sometime this week. But I don't have any. Do I have any spooky effects? No. Let me see. Do I have any?
Go to hell.
Nope, I don't. The Rock just told me to go to hell, but no, I don't. But
like, well,
the match that we have that we're talking about is the match that Suela in passing. Because for those of you who don't text her personally, which I'm pretty sure you don't, she has this way of texting you dry ass messages. So I was like, "What did you watch this week?" And she was like, "Oh, I watched Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio." I said, "The one from Halloween Havoc." She said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll talk about that one on the podcast." That's literally how this segment became a thing. There was no planning, there was no brainstorm. I was like, "Oh, yep, throwing it back Thursday. We're gonna talk the Halloween edition." But Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. Since this is the match that you watched, what did you think about this match? It's been a minute since I've watched this match. I watched it briefly today, but
it is a classic because this is how old it is. I was like, wow, like, dang, like, this is really old. It didn't hit me until like I really just like started like rewatching to like the end, like when I did first watch it, and I was like, huh? Because what happened is, here's the thing. I was already watching House of the Dragon stuff, like playing catch up, And then like after a while, like I just went to Peacock and I was just like watching stuff on Peacock. And I watched a little new Halloween film, which I'm gonna get into in my segment. But while I was watching it, all of a sudden when it was over, like for some odd reason, like Peacock had a little mind of his own and just started playing a whole bunch of like throwback WWE like clips and stuff. And I was just like, "What's this?" And I woke up, and like when I woke up, the match was going. I was like, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. I was like, I don't even think I even seen Halloween Havoc all the way, but I watch it. I was like,
It was 1997. That was the height of the New World Order. So I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I was like, 19... yeah, I'll go ahead and watch it then.
I ain't gonna lie, that Rey Mysterio attire that he had on was so clean.
Yes.
I know Seth Rollins, he tried to duplicate it during their long ass feud during the pandemic in 2020 with the Mysterios during his Messiah gimmick. Remember the Monday Night Messiah? That was a thing, but it did not, and it could not touch this one, in my opinion.
No.
I like it. Yeah, I
really did like this one. I did.
I like the psychology of the match too, where Eddie's focus was the mask, and he was just torturing the man, but it came back to bite him. So this is a match that is like I would recommend people to watch it as well, like from time to time. And if you haven't already, or if you haven't played 2K Showcase for WWE 2K22, this match was included in the showcase that you played through. It was like a more tame version. You couldn't do too much because a lot of people who don't know, this year for 2K Showcase, for some reason you played the game, you did the objectives, and then they cut to real life cutscenes, and it wasn't really. And then it felt like you was watching the WWE Network. I was like, instead of playing this in the game, I could have just watched the match on the WWE Network, and it didn't have the commentary. So this was a good match to watch back with the commentary, because I believe the one that they had in 2K Showcase was literally music, and I think Rey Mysterio was talking over it. But if you had the commentary turned off, it was literally just music. It wasn't as lifelike as watching the actual match, but those are only notes I have for that one. But if you haven't already, make sure you guys check out that match, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. It was mask versus title for the WCW Cruiserweight title, and I believe it's still talked and praised about to this day. Like you still see people talk about it, and I think that'll be a conversation that I'll talk about on down the line. But I believe that's what a lot of wrestling nowadays is missing. Is that psychology and that magic where you want to talk about it on down the line. And that also comes down to perspective and analogy as well. Like whether you because that's the beauty behind wrestling. It's a subjective sport as far as like what do you like, what you don't like. So you can't really, if you don't like it, that doesn't mean nobody else can like it. Don't like it. So that's the beauty behind it. But I would recommend you guys to watch this if you have the time. Like if you are looking for old Halloween Havoc, because I believe NXT is doing Halloween Havoc on Saturday, which I still forgot, but they are doing that on Saturday as well. So make sure you guys check that out, check this match out if you have the time. All right, so now we're going to move on to talk about this week in professional wrestling. What did you watch this week?
Okay, so I did watch SmackDown
from last week.
I did watch a little bit of Raw too, up until I think I might have finished all of Raw.
I fell asleep on the
last thing I remember. Yeah, the last thing I do remember is when Mustafa Ali and Riddle
Seth Rollins.
By Seth Rollins. So I was like, yeah, I think I did watch all the way
through. Was it Mustafa Ali or was it Elias? Because remember Elias returned.
Yeah, and Elias did come out there. So yeah.
So it was Elias and Riddle getting stomped by, and then the show ended with Ali standing tall. So I like the show. I give him props. I like the presentation that they've been giving Ali. As far hopefully it lasts, because Ali has been one of those who are victim of start and stop pushes. Like sometimes he'll get pushed, then he'll disappear for months on end. Then he'll be coming back. So hopefully now that Triple H is in charge, hopefully speedy recovery to Triple H, because I believe he tested positive for COVID. And Road Dogg of all people was in charge. But luckily the show was halfway written on Sunday evening, so it wasn't it wasn't a total clusterfuck. But hopefully they do something with Ali, because I'm one of those people who feels Ali can bring a lot to the table as far as like in ring, and then every character that he was given, whether it was the hacker or the leader of Retribution, remember that group, or whatever the case may be, he actually tried his best to knock it out of the park. I wouldn't say he knocked it all out of the park, because you only can do so much with the crappy material that they give you before it makes you look like total shit. But shout out to the material. Hopefully they do something with this man, and to the point where we care. Like, I feel I wouldn't be against them using Seth Rollins to put him over and put the title on him and let him go finally win the big one, because I don't believe he's ever won a title in WWE. Matter of fact, that has me that has me curious. That has me curious. Oh, and I pulled up notes for that Rey Mysterio match, but we already moved on from the segment, so I ain't worried about it. But let me see. Stuff. Yeah, we check live on the podcast, because I want to make sure that I am factually correct.
Straight.
Yeah, according to his Wikipedia, he has never won a WWE title.
Dang.
He's always contended for a title. Like, he was always challenging for the Cruiserweight title, because I remember his feud with Buddy Matthews or Buddy Murphy in the WWE. I remember a lot of his feuds with Cedric Alexander and all these people, but he's never won a WWE title ever. Like, he's won a Dreamwave title, Elite Pro Wrestling, Freelance Wrestling, Jersey All Pro, but nothing in wow. He's never won a WWE title. So it would be a feel good moment, in my opinion, if they just pull the trigger on Mustafa Ali and put a title on him, even if it's the United States title, and let him bring back the coveted US Open Challenge gimmick or whatever. But hopefully it's something substantial. And speaking of something substantial, let's talk about how the show started with Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar.
Man,
going crazy. They went crazy.
Right now, like, this how we getting the show started? Okay.
This was for Kofi. This was for Big E.
I kind of like
this was for The Rock. This is for every black champion that Brock Lesnar had to beat to win the WWE or Universal Championship. This was for the brothers.
Yeah,
This
man.
was for I was so hyped, bro. I was like, I don't care about no tope suicidas. I don't care about no super kicks. I just care about two grown ass men whooping the shit out of each other. That's all I cared about, and that's what we got.
I was
two grown ass men. We got two grown ass.
Yeah, let's
men.
start the show all right.
I was happy. I was hot. I was happy. Let's get it. Let's go. Man,
I was like, y'all better do that.
Let's go.
I said, is Brock still gonna come back or what?
I was like, yo, let's do it. He took bumps. I was like, yo, this is that Saudi Arabia. This is that Saudi Arabia check, because Brock ain't taking bumps for anybody. That man was taking. He got speared through the barricade. He got speared on top of the announce table. It didn't break. I'm guessing it was supposed to break, but it didn't. So they just improvised, and Bobby literally picked this man up with ease. Bobby Lashley is one of very few people that I can legitimately believe can whoop Brock Lesnar's ass and make it look real. Whether it's a scripted sport or not, he makes it look believable, and I appreciate that. Like, it took the whole locker room and security, like, yo, get this man. This is what was needed to happen. Bobby Lashley needed to look strong after what happened last week with Brock costing him the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have been against if this was a feud for the U.S. title, because Brock Lesnar has never won a U.S. title. He's only been He's only been world champion. He's never won a mid card title. He's never won a tag team title. He's always won. He's won the world title, King of the Ring, and the Royal Rumble. But that's about it. He's never won. He's not a Grand Slam champion. He's probably the only person to win a WWE and a Universal Championship. But that's about it. I mean, like he's one of the few people outside of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and I believe
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens. No, Kevin Owens has never been WWE champion yet.
True.
Only Universal. So I'm talking about the people who's won both.
Both.
So okay. I believe it's only 3 people. I believe that's Seth, Brock, and Roman. Anybody else? I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I'm probably not. If I am, y'all can let me know. But that got me hyped. I was like, oh, we starting off with some bullshit. All right, let's get it.
I'm here for it. Like, let's
the good
go.
bullshit. The good bullshit, not the bad bullshit, but the good bullshit. I was like, oh, we starting off. Let's get it. We had some women's matches. What did you think about the Io Sky and Dakota Kai versus Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae match?
It wasn't that bad, but I kind of skimmed through a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I did.
I think I said this on when I was watching SmackDown. I said, so the tag team titles are just there. It just feels like the tag team titles, don't feel important.
Up air.
I literally when I saw them on SmackDown, I was like, so are the tag? Because I believe on this upcoming SmackDown they're going to be facing what you call it? They're going to be facing Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi, a makeshift tag team. It's like at this point, I understand you want. I don't know what it is. It's like those tag team titles to me are cursed because no one gives a shit.
Yeah. I literally felt like that. I was like, something up with them belts. That's all I kept saying. I've been saying that I actually kind of been saying it for weeks, which is crazy you brought it up like that. But I was like, something up with them belts, man, because
it's like you want us to care.
Take it seriously at all.
There's no division. There's legitimately no division. There's no stories around it. Like there's not subplots for people going after the titles. They're literally just, oh yeah, we got tag team titles. It was the thing in the Vince era. It's the thing in Triple H's era. It's like at this point, just like the 24/7 title, which I haven't seen in months. Just scrap the title. If you don't want to do anything legitimate with it, just scrap the title. Like that's why I don't understand why a lot of people be vouching for a secondary or mid-card women's title. Outside of the Raw and SmackDown women's title. They're not even doing anything with the tag team titles. Why do you want another pointless title on the show to take up space? And that's not me. And that's the same thing with the men's title. So don't even try to hit me with that. Oh, if the men do, no, I say the same thing about that. Like it was at one point where I was literally contemplating that should they merge the Intercontinental title with the World title and just kill the mid-card title, because it was at one point that they didn't give a shit about that either. But since Triple H actually cares about the mid-card and makes them feel like a world title, I can understand now why they exist. But I'm gonna need him to do something with the women's tag team titles, or it's just like, bro, just scrap them. Like I don't care to. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really care to see Dakota and Io defending against Raquel and Shotzi. That team doesn't even make sense to me. It just feels thrown together. Yes, Shotzi got her tank back, which I've been vouching for months. I literally, it's her gimmick, but it's like you're just throwing her in the tag team. You did the same thing when it was her and Tegan. You did the same thing when she was a heel, and now that she's back in face, you're doing it with Raquel. It's like either put some meaning behind the women's tag team titles or just scrap it all together. It doesn't matter who, what, when, where, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of stuff that probably needs to be, but that match, I enjoyed it for what it was because I'm a fan of Dakota and Io and Candice and Bianca and Bayley. So as a fan of theirs, I enjoyed it, but I'm more of a fan of storytelling. Give me a reason.
Yeah.
The only reason I can see them doing this, continuing to handily destroy damage control at Extreme Rules, is them building to War Games. It'll probably be Team Damage Control versus Team Bianca at War Games, with someone possibly turning heel to join Damage Control. That could be that's my early prediction. So outside of that, I enjoyed that for what it was. I was watching that. I believe I was in Wilmington when this show was happening. So I was in my hotel, live tweeting bullshit like I always do. And speaking of bullshit, we gonna talk about the return of JBL. He came out. I ain't gonna lie to you. JBL, he has a way to make you hate him. I respect it.
Yes. Right. Like,
the way he came out and started talking shit to the crowd and made them literally he has it. I can honestly sit here and tell you straight to your face that people need to get on. He needs to teach some people in NXT how to be a heel.
mm-hmm.
Not racist, just be a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Just be a heel and just do whatever it is that you can do, because he literally made that. He got one of the biggest boos in that crowd all night just by talking shit about their sports team. But he didn't make it seem forced. It was natural, and you can literally believe that he legitimately hated their team, and he probably do. I don't know the man like that. I don't know none of these people like that, but he probably do. And then he's basically he introduced the newest member of the Raw roster, because for those of you who don't know, Rey Mysterio actually was traded to SmackDown. We'll talk about that in a little bit and our thoughts on that, because he actually traded himself. He actually wanted to quit on SmackDown, and then Triple H, I guess, convinced him to instead trade to SmackDown instead of, because he don't want to fight Dom. Dom needs his ass whooped. We'll talk about Dom too, but Dom needs his ass whooped, but. Yeah, but we have the new. It was a trade, so now that Rey Mysterio's on SmackDown, they need to trade him for someone to Raw, and they traded none other than he's back to being Baron Corbin. And all I could tweet out was WTF, defund Def Rebel. What the fuck was that music? What was that music, dog? I've had enough of Def Rebel. I've had enough. I've had enough. Hey yo, look me in my eyes. Def Rebel. With all due disrespect.
Wow.
Go to hell. 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 Go to hell.
Crazy.
That shit was garbage. Like that looked like that sounded like a generic song that you hear when you're gambling. Like, you know how when you hit the jackpot, that's what that theme song sound like. Listen to Baron Corbin's new theme song back. It's a remix of the other song that he had before when he was Happy Corbin. So if you listen to that back, it sounds like a generic casino song that you listen to when you're playing Wheel of Fortune on your mobile phone. It was that generic, and it was that butt cheeks. But speaking of generic, JBL, what was that suit? We talked about it briefly at the top of the show. What was that suit, my dog? What was that suit? You literally look like you're trying out for the Kings of Comedy with that suit. It looked like it was about to be Steve, Bernie, Cedric, and John Bradshaw Layfield with that suit. You look like you about to hop on the Steve Harvey show. Steve Hightower about to join the High Toss. When the funk hits the fan, all the people want to dance. Come on, get funky. Get funky. When the funk hits the fan, all JBL want to do is dance. Come on, get funky. Get funky.
Y'all see this right here. I don't know how to act now. He got a new boy. He don't know how to act at all.
On the dance floor.
All the people want to dance. Yeah, funky.
Gosh.
When the funk hits the fan, all the people want to jam. Come on, get funky. Get funky.
Oh man, I can't. Oh, I can't. Goodness.
I'm just saying.
I know this is gonna be a fun episode.
But no, Twitter literally was clowning that man. I am not. I kid you not. Like he should give it up. And then next up, we had a match with Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. And we're not going to talk about this match because I didn't really care too much about the match. But I
didn't even watch this.
I can tell you this straight up. The Deep Six and the End of Days is two of my favorite moves. I don't know what it's about. What about it? It's just, I think because Baron Corbin just hits it the way that he hits it or whatever. But I actually enjoy both of those moves. Then we had Dominic Mysterio. Let's talk about that, man. Dominic Mysterio.
Man.
Dominic Mysterio in the Judgment Day. Dom, I implore you to please, for the love of God, put some bass in your voice when you are talking, son. Damn.
Man.
This dude. So AJ Styles and the OC are a thing again. Gallows and Anderson, they're back in the WWE. We'll talk about them in New Japan because apparently Carl Anderson is still the never open weight champion for New Japan Pro Wrestling. A title I didn't even know still existed until Carl Anderson showed up on WWE. But they gave him some dialogue, and he's supposed to come off as intimidating. But it is not working.
It's not working, right? Like I said.
And shout out once again to Victor Wrestling Club about what he get his analogy. He said he's basically a kid who's in over his head who's caving into peer pressure. That's basically the gimmick that's the vibe that he's getting about with this character. So whether that's
teenage problems, basically.
Basically, a grown ass man with teenage problems.
Okay. That's what it sounds like to me.
Sound like bullshit to me, but anyway, because I never caved under peer pressure. If I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to do it. But it's like I want to give this kid a chance so bad. I really do. I want to care, but every time he opens his mouth, I just laugh. I hee ha ha. I bust out laughing, and it's not. I don't think it's supposed to happen that way. I don't think it's supposed to happen. I don't think I'm supposed to be laughing at this motherfucker, but I am. I'm bawling my ass off right now because it's like, bro, stop talking. And then obviously they had him beat AJ Styles later on in the night, and I was like, well, Twitter lost their mind because AJ Styles is losing to Dominic Mysterio, but I'm like, at this point, I don't know what they're doing with AJ Styles. I'm not going to lose my mind with AJ Styles, but this is obviously going to lead into this match that was announced for Crown Jewel. It is the OC, AJ Styles, and Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson versus Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day. And this will probably be another match I don't care about. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And also a match that was announced was this match was made official: Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. So we saw that earlier in the night on Raw. We're gonna get some more meat being slapped. Pause for Crown Jewel.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
I'm down for it.
Anything else interesting happened on Raw that you want to talk about?
Nah. That's pretty much it.
I don't blame you. We already talked about the main event with them building up Ali, and Elias is back to doing Elias thing. He's no longer Ezekiel, and Riddle came out, and that entire segment, I think I was halfway asleep anyway because I was on the road, and then I fell asleep even more. So there's that, and that's all we got to talk about on Raw. Let's talk about SmackDown a little bit. The last SmackDown. Bray Wyatt returned, all that good stuff. But we started off with chaos. We had a parking lot.
Chaos with this too. I was like,
So basically, no parking lot is safe in the WWE, whether it's NXT, Raw, or SmackDown. Because Karrion Kross got his ass whooped by Drew McIntyre
for real
in the parking lot. So it was basically building for a Fatal 4-Way, which obviously was won by Rey Mysterio. We're not going to give you a full breakdown because I'm pretty sure you saw it by now. Doing that, and also, so basically that was their way to take him out, so he wasn't going to take a pin. Then we had this, which was a highlight of the night, as always, the honorary Uce. The honorary Uce. Sami Zayn beat Kofi Kingston. And they're also building to a match between Braun Strowman and Omos. Hey, yo, Omos, give JBL your number to your tailor because that man's suit was not fitted at all. That's all I'm going to say. Do you care about a Braun Strowman versus Omos match?
Not really, but I do want to see it.
This has the potential of being the greatest big man match of all time or the absolute clusterfuck that I've ever seen.
That's why I said that. Like, that's why I was like, not really, but not really. Like, I'll see. I just hope they, like they book it right and they build up to that momentum. I don't want them to do it and then it's straight trash.
How would you book it if you had the pen in your hand right now? How would you book it?
See, why you gotta do me like that?
That's what I do. I like putting you on the spot.
Like just set up every time.
I like setting people up.
I apologize for my outburst. I spoke a little too soon. I was too eager.
She's like, wait. She's like, wait a minute. Hold on. Like, hold on. Damn. How would I? Maybe I should have just said I enjoyed it and call it a day.
I don't know. I don't know for real. I don't know how I would book it. I just want to see it. That's the part that sucks.
That's a nice way to say, I don't know shit. I'm not a booker. Like y'all figure that shit out. Just don't make it suck. That's all I gotta say. Just don't make it sound. Just don't make it ass. That's literally it.
Don't make me have to fast forward. That's all I gotta say.
Don't make me fall asleep because I'm probably gonna watch it live.
Right.
Don't make me fall asleep. Don't make me do none of that. And we also got the return of LA Knight. Finally, the return of LA Knight. No more Max Dupree.
Right.
And they solidified him as a heel though. I guess it was their way of shedding him of the Max Dupree gimmick and to say, okay, we're going back to square one with LA Knight because he was initially a heel, so he's going to probably be a heel on SmackDown because let's be real, SmackDown needs a lot of heels. They don't really have a lot of heels. They have Legado, they have Roman, the Bloodline, Karrion Kross. I believe that's it. Oh, and Gunther and Imperium. As far as like prominent heels, so if they make LA Knight a prominent heel and he fills up that mid card to eventually get to the world title or the main event scene, I'm all for it because I want to get to LA Knight and Paul Heyman on the microphone at least once. I feel like I want everybody against Paul Heyman on the microphone at this point. So I just want to see them go at it. So if this is going to be the route they go with LA Knight, then there it is. And then obviously we had Damage Control versus Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, and Roxanne Perez. I call her Roxy for some reason Roxy because that was her independent name, Roxy, but Roxanne Perez. She did not feel out of place during this 6-woman tag. So hopefully we see more of Roxy on the main roster. And then we had Legado del Fantasma versus Hit Row. It was literally a 3-minute match. And Hit Row lost. Dang. But what are your thoughts on Legado del Fantasma with Zelina Vega instead of Elektra Lopez?
Yeah, honestly, I actually kind of like them. Just it feels a little weird, but
Because
I
you've been
kind of
seeing
like them.
Electra for so long. You've been seeing
Yeah,
Electra with him for so
yeah.
long.
So I'm just like, I wonder like how they gonna make this. Why his bun like Roman Reigns? I'm sorry, his hair. This. Oh, anyway.
You do know Roman didn't create the man bun, right? So
Yeah.
everybody has shit.
I know. It's just
I'm about to say everybody has a man
from
bun.
how he's standing and his picture and his look. It's just like, why you give me? Okay. Anyway,
Roman doesn't wear a suit.
yes, he do sometimes.
He wears sweatpants
Not coming out like
that's what I'm talking about.
perform now. He wears
suited Santos Escobar. Suited Santos Escobar
Say, look at this.
looks nice.
So. He does. He looks really nice. I like him. I'm starting to like them. Like I don't know.
I said this on SmackDown, and I'm gonna say it now. Santos Escobar is literally everything they wished Alberto Del Rio was.
Wow.
And
when you think about it,
you can quote me on that. You can, if you look at this man's matches and you look at his promo work, he is literally everything they wished Alberto Del Rio was. Alberto Del Rio sucked. I'm not even talking about the person, because the person can suck an egg, but from in-ring wise, after the initial heel run, he ran his course with me. As far as like after they got rid of the cars and the ring announcer, I was like, all right, the gimmick's dead for me. I don't really care. Like, and this was before I started really getting into the behind the scenes type of shit of wrestling and all that stuff. So I didn't really, but when I was watching it live, because I still laugh at it to this day, because WrestleMania 2011 was my first wrestling show that I paid for and watched live. Everything else I watched before, I watched it completely legal on websites, but I actually paid for it because I was hyped for The Rock to return, because I remember watching him as a baby or as a toddler with my sister and my uncle. So I was like, oh snap, The Rock is back, so let me order it. Completely regret doing that because WrestleMania sucked that year. Outside of Triple H versus The Undertaker and Randy Orton versus CM Punk, and I believe that's it. Oh, and Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio. Outside of that, I ain't really that the entire show was not worth $60. So, but yeah, Santos Escobar is literally everything they wanted in Alberto. So hopefully, especially with Triple H in charge, hopefully they introduce the crowd well to them, give them some backstage vignettes, give them a reason why they are targeting Hit Row, give Hit Row some backstage vignettes to where they don't have to have a match every week. They can literally build up to a match to where Hit Row recruits a fourth member, because it's not going to be Swerve. Everybody keeps saying Hit Row is nothing without Swerve. Hit Row is just fine. I am a fan of what they've been doing. I'm a fan of AJ Francis, Top Dollar, especially with his independent work after he got released the first time. B-Fab, respectfully. And Ashanti Diadonis or Tahuti Miles. They are incredible talent. So hopefully they get the opportunity to do their thing in the ring. As far as like promo and vignette, like that's all I am. I'm heavy on promos and vignettes of if it has a meaning and a beginning, middle, end, and a meaning to it. So hopefully they let them go crazy, and that's all I can say about that. Anything else? Let's talk about. And obviously the main event, Rey Mysterio defeated Sheamus, Ricochet, and Solo Sikoa in a fatal 4-way match to earn a shot at the Intercontinental title, whose hold happens to be held by Gunther. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and have a moment of silence for Rey Mysterio's chest and his soul, because Gunther is going to turn his chest into Swiss cheese and whoop his ass. Because this is the funny thing about it. Rey Mysterio, he went to SmackDown to not fight his son. So he went to SmackDown to fight a mutated version of his son with the same face. Because if you look at a picture of Gunther side by side with Dominic, they look the exact same. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you went from avoiding fighting your son to fighting a mutated version of your son. Well wishes, Rey Mysterio. Well wishes. I appreciate you. I rock with you, but you about to die.
Like, boy.
You about to die. And then we obviously ended the show with Bray Wyatt. He
I'm
made
so
his
happy
first.
he's back.
You said what?
I'm so happy he's back. In a way.
He shouldn't have never been
He
fired.
should have been gone. Right.
But he cut an emotional promo. It was
Yeah, he was crying. I was like, oh my God. Like I was like, Bray, don't do that. Like, don't start, man. Like, don't do this. I was like, he deserved it though, but at the same time, I was like, man, don't start crying. Like
it was an emotional promo. I couldn't even do it justice even if I wanted to. But but basically he was revealing, he was thanking the fans and everything for saving him, because when he released, he lost everything. And I believe around the time he did get released, it was fresh off of it was so much going on. Brody Lee just passed, one of his best friends, and I believe another one of his best friends passed away recently. So he lost two very important people in his life. So whether and obviously it was from the heart. You heard Wyndham Rotunda. You didn't hear Bray
yeah,
Wyatt when he was in his words.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was he actually turned it into a story, if you will, because when you look back at when you look at how it transitioned into what happened afterwards, I'm pretty sure we're getting a split personality type gimmick with Bray, and not the half-ass the Fiend Bray Wyatt version that they did after his initial re-debut with the Fiend. I mean, I wouldn't, because I'm pretty sure you know this by now, but they have the Wyatt 6, if you will, a Wyatt 6 where it's where he's is basically going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be 6 personalities. You're probably going to have Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds, the Mr. Rogers. So you're going to have, so one is going to be probably the Eater of Worlds. 2 is probably going to be Mr. Rogers, the nice bubbly one. 3 is probably going to be the Fiend. 4 is probably going to be whatever this version that keeps interrupting, like with the like the way he interrupted, like he was he had a mask on. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 4th one is one personality, and the 5th one is probably going to be this emotional one. And then 6, someone said they wouldn't be surprised if the 6th one is Husky Harris. So, but what do you think they're going to go with this new version of Bray Wyatt, or this return of Bray Wyatt?
I do believe he is going to add the personalities involved. That's what I definitely can agree on. I do have a feeling he probably, go back and get the people who so-called defeated him, so to speak. So I think
they're going to run that back.
They might,
because that wasn't that a thing with the Fiend where he was what you call it? He was defeating everybody who done him wrong, like Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, John Cena, and all this stuff. I don't know how I feel about that.
But I'm saying, like, it might lead down that way, but then again, it might not. Who's to say he might just try to get the belt back from Roman? I'm not sure. Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I
like Bray. As long as I like Bray. Keep him from the title at least a year.
Okay, that makes sense.
Keep him from the title. The title shit is his motivation right now. It could be down the line after he's established himself as an entity.
Yeah, that's
but he's
cool.
one of those talents where it's like, yeah, he's world champion. Like, let's talk about The Undertaker. Whenever he was world champion, it didn't feel right in a way. It felt like the chase was cool, but he felt like he was bigger than the title. I want them to make Bray Wyatt bigger than the title.
Okay.
That's just my
no,
thing.
that makes perfect sense. Like it makes absolute perfect sense. So I have no problem with that. We're agreeing with that at all.
Yeah, I want them to. I want
Just
them
let
to
them build that persona first before you just be like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and.
put you in the title. Like, that's what messed him up the last time with the Universal title with the Fiend. Like, in my opinion, he shouldn't have. Like, people are still mad about Goldberg squashing him or beating him in Saudi Arabia, but in my opinion, he shouldn't have been champion in the first place. He was that whole thing with Seth Rollins shouldn't have happened. They should have had somebody else for Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell, or just not have Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell against the Fiend.
That makes sense.
Because it killed it started the decline of the Fiend, the interest in the Fiend character, and it completely killed the Seth Rollins character to the point where he had to become the Messiah. And then this version now, Seth freaking Rollins, so that people can actually care about him again. Because if Seth, and I'm one of those who admit, if Seth Rollins didn't get to this point right now, the drunk choir director, then I wouldn't probably not care as much as for the character of Seth Rollins. But now that he's here at this point, I actually care about Seth Rollins. So hopefully, and that's another thing, keep them far away from each other. Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt don't need to interact ever again. Just keep them, or if you do, it should be to rehabilitate whatever that was, that Hell in a Cell match. But Bray Wyatt, I'm excited for his return. Like, his return, the way they delivered it, because I was in Denver when Extreme Rules went down. So I was watching it in Denver. And I was so hyped in my hotel room watching this. So now I'm like, oh, the feeling is back. I don't care who hates it. I don't care who trying to find a reason to shit on it. I do not care. The Bray Wyatt is back. The Fiend is back. Him and his split personalities are back. The chaotic brain and the mind, the creative mind of Bray Wyatt is back, and I am ready to lose my shit the entire time. Don't fuck it up, WWE. Don't fuck it up. Please, for the love of God, do not fuck it up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Goodness.
Did you watch? You say you didn't watch NXT, did you?
Nah.
Okay, we'll speed through it. Rhea Ripley defeated Roxanne Perez in the Pick Your Poison match, where Core J picked Rhea Ripley as her. It was basically a stacked NXT. It was basically a super show. The whole go home edition of NXT before Halloween Havoc. So it was a pretty stacked show. Like I just said, Rhea Ripley defeated Roxanne Perez in the Pick Your Poison. Then we had the return of Shinsuke Nakamura to NXT, and the crowd was trying to sing along, and my God, they suck. Boy, you know who they sound like when they were singing? They sound like Simba when Mufasa died.
Man, stop.
They sounded horrible. They sound, oh my God, they sound like, who else am I thinking about? They sound like when you were scratching a chalkboard across or chalk across a chalkboard. They sound so off key. It was terrible. It was terrible. So NXT singing Shinsuke Nakamura's theme song. Go away. Go away. No.
Man.
Don't touch it. Obviously, Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Stax because I believe Tony D'Angelo was injured, so they're going to keep him on TV as a character, but he's punishing, I guess, Stax for losing to Wesley or whatever the case may be. So there's that. Alba Fire defeated Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose made her return. The reason why she was away is because I believe her brother passed away. So she was away grieving. I think they were exceptionally close. So that's even harder for anybody to lose a close sibling. So well wishes to Mandy Rose on her and condolences to her and her family. But she's back. She will defend her NXT Women's Championship against Alba Fire. So they did this last build up. It was Sonya Deville. And I still laugh at the fact that last week Sonya Deville had on a hoodie on top of a suit. Like, come on, man. Like, you know those two don't go together. But I get what they was going for, but I just still laugh at it. So that was they did a final build to that. So it's going to be Alba Fire versus Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship. There's that. Then we had Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams defeat Wesley and I can't pronounce his name, Oro Mensah. So they're going to be 4 of 5 who are going to compete in a ladder match for the NXT North American Championship at Halloween Havoc for the vacant title. Because you remember the title that Solo Sikoa won, but they vacated it for some reason. Yeah, that title. And then we had Cameron Grimes and the OCs, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson defeat the Schism. That's Joe Gacy and his group. And this is the part where I just did not give a shit. I literally did anything else. I do not like. If you are a fan of Joe Gacy, kudos to you. Like you accept mid. I respect that. I am not one of those. I've tried. I just cannot. And I want to. I promise you I do. I do not give a shit about Joe Gacy. I do. Character-wise, I do not give a flying fuck about Joseph Gacy. I do not. And if you do, respect. But I'm not one of them. Then next up we had. You said what?
Said, but I'm not one of them.
I am not one of them.
Oh my god.
I want to. I really do. Then next up we had Shotzi announced as the host of Halloween Havoc, because I believe she was the host 2 years ago, or was she last year? No, she was 2 years ago. 2 years ago she was the host of Halloween Havoc. So that was that. And then we had Zion Quinn come out for some reason. And then next up we had Quincy Elliott, my boy Quincy, Big Quincy came out. And they had a match where the winner would be the co-host with Shotzi. That was a thing. And obviously Quincy Elliott picked up the win over Zion Quinn. Is Zion Quinn there to just be a jobber for them? I feel like every time I look up, he's always losing. Yeah, I feel like that man stay losing for no reason. But it is what it is. I do not care.
Oh my gosh.
And Cora Jade defeated Raquel Rodriguez via disqualification. And I have to ask, why is Cora so obsessed with tanning? That woman was not that dark. When was that woman ever that dark? Every time I see her post a picture on social media, she stays with a tan. It's like she looked like a nice, crispy turkey. She looked like a jive turkey. Between her and Mandy Rose, y'all love being borderline black, but y'all don't want the hardship to go with it.
Right.
Anyway, this was basically to build up to Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez for their match at Halloween Havoc. And then we close out the show with Kevin Owens dropping us with some gems. This man, like, it was a sit down with the KO show. This man does not like JD Mc. Do not Google me. That's literally what he called him. He said, JD Mc. Do not Google me, because yeah, for those of you who know, you know. And he was basically saying, who talks like that? Nobody talks like that. He gave me clips to use for days. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out Kevin Owens, because it was hilarious. And he looked and he said, man, looking at you just made me feel like I gotta go take a shower.
Man.
That man was shooting. He was shooting on JD McDonough. He was shooting. So, but this was basically, it was just chaos. And then they finished off with Austin Theory coming out after it broke down. So I'm guessing they're teasing Theory to cash in for the NXT title. Doesn't that feel like a downgrade? Or is it just me? Does that feel like a downgrade to you?
It does.
But
out of all the people you could have picked.
But let's be real. He ain't, if he cashes in on Roman, he's not winning. That's all I'm saying. And if he does, wow.
Yeah, that's how. Wow.
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 All right. Like, all right. Okay, cool. Good deal. But yeah. That entire the NXT to me felt like it wasn't a bad show. It was just there. But it didn't feel like a go home show. It felt like, oh, okay, cool. This was a show. It didn't suck, but it wasn't great. But if you guys enjoyed it, kudos. Kudos to you. But let's flip over the channel to AEW Dynamite real quick, because I know you said you didn't watch that. They kicked off the show with the AEW World Trios Championship match. Death Triangle retained against the new All Atlantic champion Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends in the Trios match. It was solid for what it was, from what I saw. AEW Interim Women's World Champion Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida put on a banger, from what I watched. So they have great chemistry, in my opinion. Obviously, after the match, Britt Baker and crew came out. Jamie Hayter, let me put respect on her. Jamie Hayter came out as well. So it was the heels attacking, and then Saraya came out, and she can get physical now, so she's been medically cleared. So there's that. And then we had the return of the one woman who single-handedly defeated NXT in the ratings that people give us too much shit about, and that is Riho. Riho made her return. The inaugural AEW Women's World Champion made her return and cleared house. So she's back, and it's gonna be her and Jamie Hayter next week. How can I choose?
Okay.
But let's talk about the moment that basically stole the show for me, because anything else I didn't really care too much about, but this did. And that was MJF and William Regal still in the show. So we started off the segment with Tony Schiavone interviewing William Regal, but before he can speak, he was interrupted by MJF. And MJF came out. He said, and I quote, "I'm not here to fight, Will. You can put the knucks away," because William Regal, he was already ready. He was prepared. He said, "Oh, I'm about to pull out." He literally pulled out the brass knuckles. He was like, "All right, what's up?"
Right.
He had no no fear in his eye. He's like, "All right, cool."
He looked like he was ready.
He's like, I'm ready for a fight. And then obviously he said this, "I'm not here, you can put the months away. I'm here to talk. I'm going to tell a story, and I don't care how long it is. You're going to listen because you owe me that." When I was 19 years old, training in the business for 1 year, one fateful day, I get pulled over by my trainers, and they say, "Your hard work has paid off. We got you work as an extra at a WWE show." I packed my best gear and I drove to the arena, and then me and the extras, we were all greeted and spoken to by Sir William Regal. You told us we were all going to have a tryout matches before the show. You had us against random opponents. The onlookers were Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, and William Regal. It was my turn, and I was shaking like a leaf. I wasn't fighting for a contract. I was fighting for my life, because pro wrestling is my life. You pulled me away from the group and said, "Follow me." You brought me to a separate room and said, "Kid, you got 3 minutes to sell yourself. Go." You told me you were going to get me a job that day. And then what happened? My dream was about to be accomplished. And then with a crooked grin, you said, "How old are you, kid?" I said, 19. You said, "Sorry, you're much." You said to me, "Kid, I see something in you. When you come of age, put my name on you." I busted my ass, and you promised to review my progress month. By month 3, you sent me a promo I have read every single day since. Let me read it to you. Email said, "Max, I am a very busy man. Make a name in the wrestling business. When you're one of the top in the world, we'll hire you in WWE." That's the email you sent to a 19-year-old kid, a child with a kid. When I read that as a kid, when I read that email, I wanted to quit professional wrestling. Look me in my eyes. I couldn't have you and all the naysayers win. Before that, he basically said he wanted to kill himself. So suicide, trigger warning, but he said he wanted to kill himself. And He said, and here we are, and my God, have the tables turned. You are nothing more than a sad, withered old man who got fired. And now you have snuck into my company. I'm MJF. I'm a generational talent. And I'm also the man who your former employer would love to have in the bidding war of 2024. I read your email now whenever I need a good laugh, because that's what you've become to me. Nothing more than a joke. And I'm about to become the AEW heavyweight champion of the world because I'm MJF and I'm better than you and you know it. Regal then said, but then when he said all this, even when he said he was about to kill himself, Regal just had this big ass smile on his face. So William Regal didn't give a shit. He was like, he's like, I am a piece of your...
He looked like he would have laughed too. Like I ain't even watch it, and I could tell like he probably done laughed at this kid.
That man literally said, this is literally how I can describe him. This man was literally out here like, yeah, you about to do all this, but I'm part of your villain origin story. So, well, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Let's get it. That's literally how he was. He didn't give a shit. He didn't care. He was like, fuck it. But Regal said, job well done. You mentioned being 19 and being a child. At 16, I left home and worked at a carnival and had to fight grown men to get into this industry. I saw somebody in you who was going to be a big star. I wanted to light a fire under you. I never quit. And if it took an email to get you to that place, then you had it easy, sunshine. He loved calling people sunshine. You've had it easy. You had it easy, sunshine. And that's exactly what you've had. You've had it easy. Before you were born, I was insulting Mr. Schiavone, but I would never lay a hand on him. You never put your hand on somebody like him. I wanted you to be where you are. I knew you had it in you. The only problem is you let me down because you've taken shortcuts. Just because you're making lots of money, that still doesn't prove anything to me. Max, don't take any shortcuts. You want to be the devil, then make a name for yourself by being it right. But if you want to be the devil, show the world right now. Or are you going to take another shortcut? Regal then turned his back to MJF and Max put on the Dynamite Diamond Ring, which is still a thing for some reason. He put on the Dynamite Diamond Ring and then hesitated. And then Regal said, you still got a lot to prove.
Wow.
And Regal left the ring. That promo had my attention. I was literally, NXT was on. I don't even remember what match was on. I literally said, I'll be right back. I'm watching this because it's going to be good. Because I've been wanting a promo face-off between William Regal and MJF for a good minute. And they did not disappoint. So if you haven't already, I'm going to send you the link. If you haven't already, make sure you watch it back. After we're done here, make sure you watch that promo. You don't have to watch the whole show. Just watch that promo. I'll send you the YouTube link. That is a masterclass right there. And I could listen to William Regal talk all day. That's how good he is. And then, yada, 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 the skim through. Everything else, it was solid. And then we obviously got to the main event between before I move on, Chris Jericho retained the ROH World Heavyweight Championship against Dawson Castle with the boys. Shout out to Dawson Castle and Chris Jericho. They gave us it was a solid match for what it was, but I would be remiss if I don't tell you that I am ready for Ring of Honor to go away from AEW. They're just there, taking up time and space. It's like either give them a show or get them the fuck off my TV. It's that simple. I don't care if it's on HBO Max. I don't care if it's on YouTube Plus, where you have to get a membership to watch it. Just give them their own show so that you don't have to oversaturate them on AEW. That's just how I feel about it. Obviously, they're building to... Chris Jericho is basically destroying Ring of Honor. That's basically the whole gimmick. And it's probably going to lead to someone representing Ring of Honor to win the title. And because I believe they have another pay-per-view coming up, and it is Final Battle, Saturday, December 10th in Texas. So hopefully the combination of the storyline happens there at Ring of Honor Final Battle. And it's going to be in Texas. If it was in Atlanta, I probably would go, but it's in Texas. So I'm not traveling to Texas. I'm good on that. There's that. And then obviously the main event, it was Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page. It was a solid match. It was a typical Jon Moxley match where he was bleeding. It was everything you could do. Paige, they were delivering dead eyes and pile drivers and all that stuff. But then the ending of the match happened. So Hangman charged at Moxley, but Moxley decked Hangman with the King Kong lariat, and then the match stopped because Paige, when he takes a lariat, he flips sometimes. He landed on his head. He spiked his own head. And it was an accident. It was obviously an accident. So he knocked himself out. So Doc Sampson came in to check on him, and then they stopped the match. Moxley was declared the winner by stoppage. So it was a moment of awkwardness and pause, and then Moxley obviously grabbed the microphone. He said, "I hope and pray that Hangman Adam Page recovers to 100%. But this is a dangerous game that we play, and you got to have guts to play it. You got to put everything on the line every time you step in the ring. If MJF, you want to prove just who you say you are, get yourself out to the ring right now." So they had to improvise because I'm pretty sure Hangman was going to lose anyway, but they had to improvise to stretch everything out because he obviously got injured. And a lot you got a lot of people on social media. You got them saying, "Oh, is this a work? Is this whatever?" Not everything is a work.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me loud and clear. Work yourself to stop scaring the bitches. That's all I'm saying. Because y'all literally cannot tell the difference between a work and a if you cannot tell the difference between a work and a shoot in 2022, I know you just are no fun to watch wrestling with. And I want to stay as far away from you as possible. Because not everything is a work. Because if it was a work, they would have showed the camera, him on the camera. They literally stayed away from him on camera.
Mm-hmm.
They had to unhook the bottom rope so they can get him out with ease, and they got him out. And there's that. But before we move on with how Dynamite ended, we have an update on Hangman Adam Page. We was provided that. So they gave us a nice update on him, and courtesy of AEW, Hangman Adam Page was taken tonight, which was on October 18th, by medical personnel to a Cincinnati trauma center and diagnosed with a concussion.
Mm.
He was discharged, but will remain in AEW's concussion protocol for the foreseeable future. AEW and Hangman Adam Page are grateful for the exemplary response and care of staff and local medical personnel, and are appreciative of the love and support that he has been given by fans everywhere. So bottom line is, we want to, here at the Gresh Unleashed podcast, we'd like to wish Hangman Adam Page a speedy recovery, because that was legitimately scary to see. Because whether you're a fan of someone or not, all you have to do is wish them well wishes. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'm going to say this like until I'm blue in the face. If you do not have anything nice to say, as far as like, if you don't have to give, if you don't like the person or whatever the case may be, if you don't have anything nice to say, just shut the fuck up.
Please.
I truly mean that. Because I saw a lot of people was like, "Oh, this is karma, this is this, that, and the third." Fuck you and your opinion. Because if you don't have any well wishes to say, don't say nothing.
All right.
You don't have to say anything. You literally can. Everything does not need a response. I've said this. I feel like I say this every year, every day, every second that that something like this happens. Everything doesn't need a response. If you don't have anything nice to say, if you don't like the man, shut the fuck up. If you don't have anything nice to say, shut the fuck up. It's that. It is that simple. It is that simple.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you have to do, and that's all it is to it. Well, well wishes to Hangman Adam Page, but to wrap up AEW Dynamite, MJF actually came out as they was tending to Hangman, and he handed the poker chip to William Regal. And MJF said, "These people know I'm a man. I'm going to cash that chip in, but when I do, I want you at 110%. I want to make sure when I beat you clean in the center of the ring, there's no doubt I'm cashing my chip in at full gear. For the first time in my life, I'm going to earn it. So that was literally the conclusion of AEW Dynamite. So there is going to be MJF versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at Full Gear on, I believe it's in November or December, one of the two. I forgot what they said it was going to be, but this is the second time that they've met for the world title. I believe the last time was 2021. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was at a pay-per-view. So, and this go round, I wouldn't be against them putting the title on MJF because he literally stole the show, in my opinion. MJF legitimately stole the show again because that's just what he does. That's literally what he does, and I believe that's all of WWE of This Week in Wrestling for us. Oh, speaking of, got to give a proper shout out to the one and only EST of the WWE because I believe she hit another milestone today or yesterday. She is officially, Bianca Belair is the first black champion in WWE to reach over 200 days as world champion.
Nice.
And I believe she's the first black male or female champion. That one, first off, that's what's up. Second off, what took so long?
Right.
What took y'all so long? Why? It's like, shout out Bianca Belair first and foremost because she deserves it. I don't care what anybody says. She deserves it. She is the EST. Kudos to her. But damn, why did it take y'all that damn long?
Like the train left the station now. Like we gone.
It's like, God damn, what was the I can't even get mad because it's like it was just the times. They didn't really care for I guess you could say black women's champions. Because if they did, they would have done this a long time ago because you had black women's champions like Jazz, you had Jacqueline, you had, who else am I missing as far as females? Black women. As far as WWE, I believe those are the only two.
I think so.
Oh, Sasha Banks, obviously. I'm talking about like this legend, like past. I ain't talking about right now, but I believe that's it. And if anybody get in my comments and talking about Ronda Rousey because she has a little black in her bloodline, fuck you and get off my timeline.
Right,
she's white. She's white. She's white.
She's white.
But it was the times basically. So another milestone achieved for the EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair. She is on a historic run. I actually saw the ending of this match earlier today, and seeing Bianca that win the title again, and that reversal of the manhandle slam into the what is her move? KOD, the kiss of death. I was about to say the EST for some reason, but yeah, the kiss of death. So it was awesome to see. But once again, congratulations to Bianca Belair. Hopefully 200 more, 300 more, 400 more, 500 more, whatever. Just give her every milestone until we're blue in the face. I do not care at all. That's all I'm gonna say. But let's talk about NXT Halloween Havoc. That's is that time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to give our speed round preview and predictions for NXT Halloween Havoc. Let me pull up the match card right now so that we can do this thing. It is Halloween Havoc is going down this Saturday, October 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those who actually are going to probably watch it on the Peacock. NXT champ. It will be headlined by NXT champion Braun Breaker defending the title against heated rivals Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough in a triple threat match. Plus, the NXT North American title will be on the line in a ladder match, a 5-man ladder match, and more. So let's start off with the first match of this event, and it is for the NXT Championship: Braun Breaker versus JD McDonough versus Ilya Dragunov. Your prediction. Let me hold on before we give our prediction. Let me get the notes up so I can write our predictions down so that I won't forget for when we do for when I live tweet. But
I'm going for Breaker.
You going with LeBron Breaker?
Yeah.
So we're both going with LeBron Breaker. All right, bet.
Breaker.
Breaker. All right. So next up we have hold on before we move on to the next match. That was accident. Let me do this in order. Next up we have a ladder match, a fatal 5-way ladder match. It's Carmelo Hayes versus Wesley versus Von Wagner versus Oro Mensah versus Nathan Frazier for the vacant NXT North American Championship. I'm going with Carmelo Hayes.
Yep. I'm going with Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes. It seems like it's gonna be a solid match, though.
Would you be against them putting anybody else than Carmelo?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Next up, we have Apollo Crews versus Stephen Amell. Sorry about that. Not Stephen Amell. Grayson Waller.
Waller.
Yeah. It's a spin the wheel, make the deal type match. So basically they spin the wheel and whatever it lands on, they have to pick. It's going to be a stipulation match, obviously, but spin the wheel, make the deal. And Apollo has been bleeding from the eyes a lot. I do not understand the gimmick that he has. I don't know what the fuck he be talking about. I truly don't. All I be hearing is this is literally how I be feeling.
Oh, okay. Oh, you crazy.
I am.
That's literally all I feel. Whenever Apollo Crews is on there, but whatever they do with this, I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with this. And then obviously next up we're going to talk about so we both picked Grayson Waller, right? All right. I wanted to be Apollo, but I don't know what they're doing. So then next up we have for the NXT, make sure my microphone is proper. For the NXT Women's Championship, it'll be Mandisha Rose versus Alba Fire. Will the Fire feel the thorns of Rose for the NXT Women's Championship? The dream match of nightmares. I never dreamed of this match before in my life, but here we are.
Fire, just to see.
You think they're gonna actually put the title on fire?
I mean, if they do, I ain't gonna be mad. I just want to see how it turned out, though, for real.
As much as I wanted to be Alba Fire, but I see them putting the title on
Mandy Rose.
Keeping the title on Mandy Rose, because if you remember, she actually won the title a year ago. It won't be to the date of Halloween Havoc, but it'll be at Halloween Havoc the year prior that she won the NXT Women's Championship. So she's reaching that year mark as champion.
Okay.
Will they actually kill it before she reaches that year mark? I doubt it. But you picked Alba Fire. I picked Mandy Rose. We'll see how that goes. And that rhymed. That was a bar.
Yeah.
Next up, we have this match is the battle of former best friends turned bitter rivals as Roxanne Perez battles Cora Jade in a spin the wheel, make the deal. I believe it's a weapons wild match, aka no disqualification. aka Extreme Rules. They just gave it a name for some reason, but it's basically going to be. I think it's going to be the blow off feud or the blow off to the feud because they've been feuding for a minute. So,
I don't know for this one.
The way it ended, I kind of see them. It's customary for whoever stands tall to lose. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cora Jade wins.
Okay.
But I'm going to pick Roxanne.
I'm gonna pick Roxanne for this one.
Okay, so we both pick Rox. And then I believe the next one is a ambulance match between former Diamond Mine members. It'll be Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp in an ambulance match with the stipulation that if Damon Kemp wins, Brutus Creed, Julius's brother, will be fired from NXT.
Oh, whoa.
For starters, this match is random as shit for me, but I'm
gonna go with Kemp for this one, but it is random as well. Like, cause I was just like, huh?
So yeah, you going with Kemp? I'm gonna have to go with Creed because it wouldn't make sense for them to kill off a tag team like that. So I'm gonna go with Creed. You go with Kemp, and we'll see how that goes. But it should be a hard hitting match because the Creed brothers been killing it in the tag team division. So we'll see how that goes.
It's cool with me.
And then is that the last match? Oh, and obviously Shotzi and Quincy Elliott will be the
host. Okay.
The co-host. So there's that. Did you see Booker T lose his? Oh, you didn't see, but Booker T lost his mind. He lost. Booker T is a commentator now on NXT, but he lost his mind when Quincy and Shotzi started dancing. He said, What the hell is that? What the hell is going on?" Like he sound like a drunk uncle who's a recovering alcoholic, and dad was like, "Oh, what is going on?" Because, bro, I'm trying to tell you, it's like I was listening to this man. I'm like, when did Booker T started sounding like a recovering chain smoker?
Hey.
I'm like, bro, you sound like you going through it.
Oh, man.
I ain't gonna hold you, but you sound like you're going through it, my dog. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. So you're going through it. But that was NXT Halloween Havoc. That's our thoughts on. We probably won't do a review because I believe you work Saturday, and yeah, we probably won't do a review because it's just NXT. But we'll more likely talk about it on the next episode of Gresh Unleashed podcast if we both enjoy it and if we both catch it. You know how it goes. And obviously, make sure you follow us at Gresh Unleashed for our live our predictions. See if our predictions came true, because that's where I'm gonna be posting the results if our predictions came true. As well as make sure you follow me and all that stuff as I live tweet. I'm pretty sure Suela, if she watches it, I doubt it, but if she watches it, she'll give her thoughts on Twitter. But there is that. I believe that is all we have as far as the. So we both. Okay, so we both picked LeBron. We both picked Carmelo Hayes. We both picked Waller. I picked Mandy. You picked Alba. We both picked Roxy, and I picked Julius, and you picked Kemp. All right, so and that concludes our preview and predictions for NXT Halloween Havoc. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where we get unleashed on the house as we continue to talk about Game of Thrones Unleashed, or not Game of Thrones Unleashed, Game of Thrones House of the Dragon. We are literally days away from the season finale. of this clusterfuck of a show, but we're here to talk about it.
That's why my eyes was looking like this for a minute.
So this last episode,
I hate everybody.
I hate every fucking body in this show. All of you can die.
I hate everybody.
if this show ends with everybody dying,
I don't have no problem with it.
I would not bat an eye. Because none of you deserve the throne. None of you deserve peace. None of you deserve happiness. None of you deserve pussy. None of you deserve
nobody.
None of you deserve nothing. You do not. You don't even deserve to be broke. You deserve to die. I do not care.
Man,
you're killing kids.
Right.
You're causing kids to fight in pits. You forcing people on a throne that is not even worthy of the throne. You're stealing birthrights. The aunties, for some reason, didn't save your cars when she had them at Dragon Point. But this entire show, and for some reason, they want the show to be dark. Why is this show so fucking dark? I'm not talking about the aesthetic. I'm talking about visually. Why is it dark? Why can I not see?
Right.
Why is it so black?
I guarantee you, like, so we were going, I was sitting in the car with my mom, and
that was my rant.
Literally like going somewhere, and as soon as I got to a certain part of the episode, like my screen was like still dark. I literally had to go like this on my screen to keep seeing, even though I'm outside. I'm just like, why did y'all do this like this? My brightness is turned up on my phone for me to see. Now I gotta do this junk right here so I can see some more. Like I can't even see what y'all doing. Like y'all messing up. Like stop it. Put some light in here. Like oh my gosh. I was like, man, can y'all just? And then I gave up. I was like, I'm still gonna finish it, but I was like, can y'all just die? Like,
just die, bitch.
Like, can I just die, please? Like, I'm just. Where's the season? I need to see where's the season finale? I'm just ready for the last episode.
The season finale is this Sunday, so
like I'm just waiting. I want one more episode and like just kill everybody off.
This episode focused on the Greens because it's a civil war. Basically, they're building they're building to Dance of the Dragons, where it's going to be the beginning of the fall of the Targaryen dynasty. So they're building to that. It's going to be a civil war. It's going to be green versus black. This episode focused on. That's why you didn't see Rhaenyra or Daemon or none of the people in Team Black except for Rhaenyra, the queen that never was. That was focused on Team. This next episode, the finale is going to be focused on Team Black, with them responding to Aegon being named king following the death of Viserys. So keep in mind, Viserys died literally the last episode, and not even a few hours after his death, they poached for the throne. They didn't tell nobody.
They didn't tell nobody. They didn't even give it a year. They didn't even do no homecoming.
This man's body wasn't even cold. This man's body was not even cold, and he's already crowned king. And they had everybody
already.
I don't know, man. It's like this entire these motherfuckers. Y'all can die. I don't care.
That's what I said. I was just like, can y'all just die? Like I just got tired. Yeah, when y'all gonna die? When y'all gonna die? Let me know. Like
that's all I can say. Every time, Allison, Otto,
for real,
crippled foot, that strong, the crippled person who likes feet,
right?
Aegon.
And you know what's crazy about that? He was hiding. He didn't even want to be crowned.
That man was about to run. He was
that
about to run.
man was on the run. That man was like, no, like I am not. No, I don't want to get in that. This man hid under the thing. Like, man, please. Y'all can go out in the market and go find me. I've been at the house the entire time, living under in the basement. I'm not coming out. No.
This man literally was about
this man hid. Like
he became a mouse in the house and just hid under the surface because he was like, I do not want to be king. I do not want to be king.
I would have just left town, honestly. Like, cause what you hiding for in the house? Like, they gonna find you. They know where everything at. So why you just couldn't leave town? Like, without warning, without telling your brothers, just leave.
He's dumb.
He's dumb.
Aegon the second is a loser. Aegon the second
use your brain.
But the Civil War is about to begin, and if George is to believe the writer of the actual books, they're probably going to tell this story for 4 seasons, because I believe he said he believes that 4 seasons of 10 episodes will be enough to tell the entire story, and that'll be enough.
Okay.
And I agree. You don't have to stretch it out. Let everybody die.
Please.
Let everybody die because if you read the books, everybody dies.
It dies. Mm-hmm. Everybody dies.
So be prepared for a lot of bloodshed and a lot of death and dragons eating dragons, because the big dragon is going to be brought into play. So
yeah,
please just let everybody die. Oh, and one more thing.
Go to hell. Acknowledge me.
All right, to wrap up today's episode of the GRESH UNLEASHED podcast, it is that time where we talk and chop it up with the Bandit, with Queen Suela the Bandit, where she gives us everything from top 3. I say top 10. I'm trying to give you more work. My bad. Everything else, I give her the reins, where she literally tells me what's going on in the world that is outside of the professional wrestling world, outside of the stuff that we watch. So take it away, Queen Rebel.
So, it's 2 scary movies I got a chance to watch these past couple of days. So, one was Hellraiser, that was on Hulu, the new Hellraiser they put out. And then there was, I want to say, is it called Halloween Ends, I believe? That came out as well. It's actually not bad.
Oh, you're one of the few people that I've seen that actually enjoyed it.
Like, I was like, this is not bad. I kid you not. Like, I thought it was gonna be boring. I thought it was gonna suck. Cause
if Twitter is to believe,
because it's like all these Halloweens that came out before that, I was like, like how many more do we need? Like, are we gonna ever end this? Like, come on, like, please. But actually, it's not that bad. Also, Hellraiser wasn't as bad either. I think.
What is Hellraiser?
Okay, so I don't even know. Have you seen the classic?
No.
Oh, okay. I think you should watch that first.
Okay.
So that way you can kind of get an idea.
No promises. No promises.
But
give me a quick summary, because there's no promises I'm gonna watch that.
Let's say they find, okay, so basically these people, they find like this box thing, like kind of like this cube, and like they start playing with it or whatever. But what they don't know is like that cube like unlocks like certain stuff. Like I want to say basically it's kind of like torture. Like it's crazy. I'm just gonna say that. And there's this one character. This character could go by the name of Pinhead, and that individual right there, like,
I take it's a bad thing.
It is, like, but it's weird because I like Pinhead, so it's kind of crazy. But for this one, the new one they put out, they let Pinhead, they let a woman play Pinhead for this one. The classic was a man played the character, but now they switched it up. They let a woman play Pinhead this year, and she actually did pretty good. Like, I actually kind of like her better than the other 3 Hellraisers that came out before this one. So the remake they put out for this year that was on Hulu, like, is more sinister. So I like that better than the other three, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I'll always respect the classic anyway, because that's the original one I grew up with and watching when I was a kid. So I was like, you know what? I still don't have no problem with it. But I do like the remake, in my opinion. I like the remake way better. Black Adam comes out October 21st, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all don't know who Black Adam is, I'm gonna need y'all.
I've seen some reviews already.
I'm gonna need y'all to
I've seen some
I
reviews.
want to say I haven't seen it yet. I know it come out October 21st, but is it bad? I hope it's not bad.
The reviews are bad, but I've seen the reviews.
Oh God.
So I might have to go. I might have to schedule myself to go watch it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I still want to watch it, at least for myself.
If not Friday, Monday, maybe.
Yeah, come out
one of these days.
tomorrow.
I'm gonna watch it.
I still want to see it though, just to see what it's like.
I might go see it tomorrow if I ain't got nothing to do. But yeah, I'm hearing some mixed reviews, mainly more towards the negative. So
okay. I still want to check it out though, just for kicks.
Let's
keep
hope alive.
Just keep hope alive.
Let's keep hope alive. Let's keep hope alive. Dwayne.
Oh my gosh.
Ain't fumble with this movie.
He ain't fumble.
I said hopefully he ain't fumbled with this movie.
I hope not.
Because buddy,
I'm gonna feel bad if oh my God.
These reviews are hilarious, but
man, I still want to see it. I still want to see it. I still want to see it. What has been going on? I heard that they still supposed to have the Jake Paul and Silva. They still supposed to go against each other. Still,
I'll take your word for it because I don't follow them like that.
I think it's supposed to happen either a week. I think it's probably like a week or a couple days before Crown Jewel, where Logan goes against Roman Reigns. So, I think so.
Huh. Okay.
I gotta find the actual date of it, but yeah, I think that's supposed to be happening pretty much next month. Also, your girl here is supposed to go to Mexico next year. I did put up a nice little GoFundMe on our lovely Gresh Unleashed podcast page on Facebook. So if you want,
she uses Facebook. Even though I gave her the password to Twitter and Instagram.
Anything you donate is greatly appreciated.
Even though I gave her the password to.
You know it's crazy. Ever since you gave me that, I still ain't been on there.
Motherfuckers don't use Facebook like that unless you old. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to put it on Twitter. I'm gonna do that today because I didn't even think about it as much, and I was like, you know what, like I would love to do that, but I was like, you know what, how about I just do a GoFundMe? Like I didn't even think about it. It didn't hit me until like a couple hours today.
Just link it on link it on the socials. On every social media, make sure you guys, if you feel led to donate, go ahead and do that.
Yes, go ahead and do that.
Go ahead and do that. So.
Other than that, please make sure you stay hydrated. Please make sure you stay bundled up. It is getting cold out here. Well, especially in our local state.
And stop talking to me about Kanye.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Please stop talking to me about Kanye.
Because
PSA, do not talk to me about Kanye. Please stop. Please stop.
I don't know what their deal is. Anyway, also please, if your lips dry, there's Carmex for that. Because I don't know why y'all think in the wintertime it's okay to have chapped lips. It's not. You got some solutions for that. You got Vaseline, you got chapstick, Carmex. I recommend you use Carmex. But yeah, like Blistex, you got some solutions.
And wash your ass.
Yes, please do. Please. And if y'all are traveling, I'm gonna need y'all to make sure y'all do that too, because Don't nobody want to smell you in that car or on an airplane or in a tour bus van.
I've been on 4 or 5 airplanes within the past 3 weeks, and I've smelled maybe 2 people, and they were
I
grown.
need y'all to do better.
They were older than me. You should know better.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
You should know better.
Can't stand it.
Wash your ass. Wash your ass.
Please.
Please wash your ass.
And wash your beard and your ears.
Just wash. Don't be like the Bible days.
My
wash.
gosh, please.
I still don't have confirm or denial if the Bible had soap back in the day, because I still wonder to this day how Jesus and them wash their ass. I still wonder.
Man.
I still do.
Other than that, yeah, definitely, please make sure you work on your mental health, work on your physical health. As I mentioned, please drink water. Don't be out here acting crazy. If there's a problem, make sure you find certain healthy ways to diffuse the situation, not cause any more problems. Also, stay safe out here. Yeah, pretty much. That's all I got.
You know what? I don't try to take over her show, but people still text me about this nigga. Please stop talking to me about Kanye. Please. Because at this point, it's not mental health. He's just retarded.
Yeah, sum up.
That's just how I feel about it. And people with big platforms, stop giving him excuses. Stop giving him leeway. Stop giving him, like, I was listening to, I think I was in the gym, on the way to the gym yesterday or today. Erica Campbell, I don't know if you listen to her radio show. It was literally on my radio, because I don't listen to the radio, but the radio just so happened to be on because my mom was in the car, so she turned the radio on for some reason. But when it was on, her and her co-host was basically calling him a genius and all that stuff, but he's going through something. Please stop. He's not going through anything. He's just stupid. That's just how it is. If he doesn't want to be black, let him bleach his skin, and I would not bat an eye. If he like, because the reason why I have beef with it and I want to talk about it is because if let it be anybody else, not named Kanye, that says anything, they would literally call him everything but the child of God.
Mm-hmm.
But since it's Kanye, he's misunderstood. He's a genius. No,
I'm misunderstood and I'm a genius, but you don't see me out here acting a fool.
Please stop using that as an excuse for people who are blatantly spreading misinformation. And for what? Like, so now the daughter of George Floyd is suing Kanye for the drug.
Didn't they already sued him before?
I don't know. I don't know if they have. I don't follow these people like that. But since people talk to me about people, that's all I know. I don't legitimately. I don't search out Kanye. I have not listened to none of his music since him and Jamie Foxx did a song. Can you hear me, man? That's the last time I heard a song from Kanye. Anything else, I don't listen. I gave up on Kanye a long time ago, and people should too. Like, let's just be real. Like. I knew he was gone. The fact that he gave his kids school to the public. Like, bro, I'm not a Kardashian sympathizer, fan, or whatever, but if they gave Kim full custody of his kids, I would not be mad. Because you basically just opened them up to be harassed at school. Because you gave out their information, you dumb fuck. So going forward, after my comments, we're gonna give Kanye the Chris Benoit treatment on this podcast. Don't give a fuck. No comment. Not talking about him. Stop texting me about him because I don't give a shit. I'm done giving a shit. And if he disappears, as far as like from popularity or whatever, I would not be like, oh, I want to know what happened. I don't care. I'm done giving people excuses, especially rich people.
Oh, definitely.
Other than that, anything else you got to say? We done talking about him.
Nope.
That's it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that thing, and if I'm done talking about that that dumb motherfucker, and we're pretty much about to sign off from this shit. So if you guys enjoyed today's podcast of the Gresh Unleashed podcast, today's show of the Gresh Unleashed podcast, let me make sure I say it correctly. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit that follow button, because according to YouTube, you have to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitter and Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. And if you are watching over on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button and share with your peoples. Share with your good peoples, that for those of you who are actually friends of or fans of the wrestling business or anything in general, make sure you just show support and just follow us. And speaking of following us, make sure you follow the podcast itself at Gresh Unleashed. That is on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure you check out all past shows and leave ratings or the current show over at www.gressunleashed.com, which is basically a main hub for all audio format of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, all the stuff. You can check it out. And also, make sure you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys text us if you want to. If you want to text us information or questions or whatever, or unpopular wrestling opinions or whatever, make sure you text us at 770-580-3074. Hopefully that's still active. I got to keep it up to date, make sure that is active. But as of now, that is the number that you can text us. Don't call, because I won't answer. Other than that, coming up, I believe it's still to be determined, but I believe on the 25th, I'm probably going to be doing a birthday stream over on twitch.tv/AO is Gresh. That is my main Twitch channel. And I probably will be doing punishments and all that stuff, and video games, and just chopping it up with you guys. If you guys want to join and you guys want to hang out in the chat, or if you are one of my peoples, you can hop into Discord and we can just video chat and just talk shit about each other to bring in my 28th birthday. Of course, I'll be getting high. I won't be drinking. I do not do alcohol. I will not do alcohol. I will not entertain alcohol. I'm everybody's designated driver. That's how much done I am with alcohol. But if you guys want to chop it up and vibe with me over at AO is Gresh on Twitch, you can do so on the 25th. I believe if it is confirmed, I will probably try to convert it into a charity stream. I got to find a good charity. I want to, and whatever we make, I might try to. I'm gonna attempt to match it. So if we make a substantial amount of money, say if we make $200, I'm giving it a small number. I'll match it with $200. That sounds cool. Other than that, you guys stay safe out here. We have literally, it's been a while. 2 weeks I've been gone, and we've even though you've been getting the retro reviews and the interviews. And speaking of the interviews, make sure you guys catch up on previous interviews, especially the one that I had with Phoenix Nitro. It was over 2 hours of us just chopping it up and having a good time talking about wrestling, mental health. The company that he's affiliated with now, Naptown, Nap Pro Wrestling. Make sure you guys check that out. And also this weekend, I believe, is DPW Carolinas at the Classics, or Classic Carolinas, or something like that. It's another DPW event. I might do a watch along on Twitch of that. You guys can join me and watching that as well. I probably don't take my word on it because it'll be on Saturday. So, but yeah, that is going down. But also make sure you guys check out the badass that returned to the podcast. That is Ruthless Lala. She returned to the podcast to chop it up for over an hour. It was a fun time. I literally did not bother taking notes because that's the fam right there. She is a friend and family of the podcast. Make sure you guys check that out and run those numbers up. Download it if you haven't already. Make sure, if you're listening on audio format, and make sure you guys support if you haven't already, because it doesn't go unnoticed, and it is highly, highly appreciated. But I believe that is all we have for you today. And with that being said, make sure you follow us on social media at Josh Gresham RG, or as well as follow Suela at Suela the Bandit 3 on Twitter, as well as Rebel Bandit 3, I believe, on Instagram. You can get all of our links at solo.to/Gresh and solo.to/Suela. And make sure you cop the merch. I'm actually rocking the Eat, Sleep, Flex, and Repeat shirt. I have a limited edition hoodie of the flexing season that is purple and gold. If you like purple and gold, Make sure you cop that merch. You have 11 days, I believe, until it is gone from the Gresh.live store. So make sure you guys check that out. Join the Reddit. Support the podcast over at patreon.com/Gresh Digital. I appreciate you guys for rocking with us. And with that being said, I'm going on far too long because we are not trying to go over going to that 2 hour and 30 minute mark. But yo, with that being said, you guys stay safe. You guys stay safe. I'm about to go crazy on this
Right here. You guys stay safe out here in the world of unknown, but the world that you should know is that we appreciate you. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here. And remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out.
Bye, y'all.
Let me stop doing that. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. We are out this time for real. See you.